don't have any hope. You don't have anything else. We are really not surviving.
Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot.
The investigation into the high school massacre is slow-moving and dangerous.
TV, I'm about to get ready to do a very deep, intricate breakdown, and I'm about to really just touch a level on this because I want you to really pay attention to what they're doing to the human, you know what I mean? And what I want you to really look at this is so deep because what I'm noticing is as you look back at the world populations from like the 50s, you know what I'm saying? And you bring it to the 2020, you notice the big plunge and a big drop in birth rate, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna delve deep into this and what's going on and what's going to happen because as you pay attention to this, which is so deep, is because what they're doing, the human aspect, you know what I'm saying? We can look at the human as in a sense of melanated, but I'm just using like in a sense of people, of how they literally destroying world population, world birth rates. And I'm about to tap deep into this because if you remember this movie called The Island, it was basically about the clones. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to delve deep into this because they actually showed where they was not going to let men and women be around each other. You get what I'm saying? And I'm going to tap into that. I'm going to play some scenes and I'm going to chime in.
I promise I'll go easy on you.
Please separate. Find your seats now.
Notice the whole aspect of the social distancing too. You feel what I'm saying? But as you see everyone is literally all dressed in white because it represents nothing but like a communistic, everybody submitted to the program. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm about to do is I'm about to delve deep into this because when you understand that, which is so deep, and it got me going, is because you notice how what they did was they put the man in jail and they prospered the woman, you know, basically through welfare, etc. We already know the whole story about this. But the whole aspect of them putting the man through jail is because all that represented was the Freemasons' royal arc, you know, going through the Penal system. You know what I mean? When you understand the Penal system, that's nothing but the court system. You know what I mean? Criminal justice. But when you understand the aspect of the Penal, it's in a matter of being sodomized. Do you get what I'm saying? Hint why you're behind cells. You feel what I mean? When you understand the cell, you know what I mean? You can look at that in the sense of the blood cell, the brain cell. You get what I'm saying? You're behind a cell. Pay attention to that. It gets that deep, man. And when you understand being behind bars, being behind within the walls, you know what I mean? If you understand the Baphomet uses the feminine and the masculine energy. So when you within the behind bars, behind a cell, you know, behind cells, behind bars within the walls, that's like a vagina. You get what I'm saying? Hint why you're going through the Penal system. That was the whole object of this, was to literally destroy the man. You know what I mean? And when you understand that too, the royal arc of the royal arc rainbow of masonry, you know what I mean, was basically when you would go through the whole aspect of the rebirth. You get what I'm saying? That's why a lot of the celebrities go through jail, like Pac, like, you know, a lot of the celebrities go through the jail aspect and then they come out and they become the greatest they ever been because it represents going through that whole aspect of the persecution, aka the rebirth. You know what I'm saying? And what's so deep about that is so crazy. What made me think is just like, notice why they have the female, how the female is basically coaches now. They're you see how she's throwing up the Masonic hand gesture, but as you see, basically they're coaches now, they're referees, because when you understand the aspect of coaching and refereeing, that's someone who's enforcing law. But when you understand the yin yang, the white represents the masculinity, which represents the law and order, and the black represents the feminine. You know what I mean? So the feminine is the one who receives the energy of light. You get what I'm saying? Moon and sun energy, which is so deep about that. And that got me thinking, man, because I was just like, that's deep. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to delve deeper into this because the Hunger Games, if you remember the movie The Hunger Games, I'm not going to play no clips because they flag it every time you play the clip. But basically on the Hunger Games, it was about the people who was basically under communism, just dressed in all white, just like the movie The Island. And basically they were going through a ritual where they have to literally kill each other in a game. Disney made this movie, but the ones who was ruling it were the ones who were of the homosexuality. You know what I mean? They were the homosexuals. Basically the transgenders more so were ones ruling the whole game. You get what I'm saying? It was a deep thing, and it's just like make you sit back and think about that. This is why they give us movies and TV shows like The Fatal Attraction. I think it's at the ID channel, where they show about how the woman would kill a man or the man to kill a woman, and they push that theme. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the whole aspect, because when they killing the world population, I'm going to play a clip from a trailer from the Black Panther Fred Hampton movie that came out. Just listen to what John Edgar Hoover say.
The Black Panthers are the single greatest threat to our national security. Our counterintelligence program must prevent the rise of a black messiah.
Yeah, they must prevent the rise of a black messiah. That's the whole thing that that King Herod was doing to kill the whole aspect of killing the Messiah, to due to him being threatened at his throne. Same thing in Exodus 1:7 as well, when it said that, you know, basically to kill the man and save the child. You know what I'm saying? Kill the boy and keep the girl because you want to take away the masculinity. You know what I mean? Because when you have the female is who you plant the seed in. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why they want to effeminize the whole world, because what it is the female will basically submit by default. The female, you know, want to play a role of being a wife to a man. So what they do is they give us that energy to where we will be the masculinity will be suppressed. The Messiah will be suppressed, where it'll be all feminine, and you will receive that energy. That's why in scripture it clearly says that for my people, they are oppressed. The women are their rulers, and the children are their oppressors. Come on, man, because think about that energy. The ones who's rolling, as it's written, Satan disguises as an angel of light, man. So if you understand the whole aspect of the yin yang, and he's basically playing a role of the angel of light, you know what I'm saying? What he's doing is basically the aspect of making us receive that energy in a feminine sense, to where we are basically by default, we are suppressed to it. That's why they have the females being promoted through Nike. I'm gonna play a clip and chime in.
The sway of our hips and the joy of our smile. We give our blood, sweat, and tears to be our very best. Even when the world tells us it's never going to be enough.
You feel what I'm saying? And I already did the aspect on Breonna Taylor. I broke that down. You can check my my channel, you know what I mean, my Breonna Taylor breakdown. But notice why they were pushing that in the whole woman empowerment movement. And then last year you had what was it, Saturn and Pluto conjunction, which represents nothing but death and hidden knowledge. You know what I mean? All that represented was transgenderism when they conjunction. I think was it like last January, if I'm not mistaken. That's why last year they was pushing the transgenderism. Come on, man. And as you see, Biden is already saying, what is it, May 1st, that everybody's basically going to be ready and eligible to receive the doses. You know what I'm saying? I like to say that because I don't want to, you know, trigger anything. We already know what goes down with this. But basically, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Receive the doses on May 1st. And when you understand May 1st, that's the day of what? The beginning of the Illuminati Foundation. You know what I mean? Come on, man. It's no mistake. The beginning of the New World Order. Because when you understand this, this is why Colin Kaepernick did the knee, because As it's written, everyone shall bow. You know what I mean? People are going to submit to the system. People are going to submit to the mark. They're going to bow to the beast first. Those who are going to submit, but the ones who are royal are going to have the crowns to bow to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Everyone should lay their crowns to the feet of the Most High, man. And when you understand the aspect, that's why Colin Kaepernick did the kneeling in Levi Stadium. And I'm about to get deep onto this because remember I already talked about when they say, oh, we're kneeling due to police brutality. We're kneeling to the flag. We're not. What that all represented, the police brutality represented nothing subliminally but the law of the Most High, law and order. That's why they basically did the kneeling against it so that they can basically rebel against law and order. They just staged all of these things to make it look on this level when really it's a deeper subconscious mind to this, because the whole aspect was to literally go against law and order, man, to be effeminate. That's why that whole aspect I just broke it down about the yin yang. You know what I'm saying? To basically go against the masculine energy. You know what I mean? And when you understand why they did it at the Levi Stadium, hint, I'm going to get into this in a minute, but hint why they did it at the Levi Stadium. Notice Colin Kaepernick wore number 7 and the player standing by him wore number 33. You know what I'm saying? And when you understand Levi, Moses was a Levite. The Levite represents the priesthood. Hint, the first high priest, Aaron. You know what I'm saying? Who was Moses' what? Brother. Come on, man. It's all in our face. You know what I'm saying? Hint the 33 degrees of masonry. And the whole aspect of kneeling, basically submitting to that whole aspect of going against law and order. That's what this whole thing was about. That's why they had the Packers versus the Niners. Because when you understand the Packers, which is so deep about that, because the Packers literally is nothing but what they call him, the cheesehead. And Christopher Columbus was the cheesemaker. Well, his father was a cheesemaker. I'm sorry. His father was a cheesemaker, but basically Christopher Columbus helped with the whole business, the cheese stand. And when you understand the 49ers literally represent 1849, representing nothing but the California Gold Rush. Hence why they had them both going against each other, because that represented conquering the city of gold, man. That's why they had to lose this game. And notice the score was 21-10. 21 plus 10 is 31. Remember, during the time of Joshua in the scriptures in Joshua 12 literally mentioned about the 31 kings who got conquered so that Israel can take the promised land, the land of Canaan. Hence why this whole aspect had to go down, man. Do you get where I'm going with this? Like, this stuff is that mind-boggling. You know what I mean? That's the whole aspect of them trying to take away the whole aspect of human. You remember already Biden, if I'm not mistaken, Biden is pushing the whole gender neutral. You know what I'm saying? No more gender signs, no more boys and girls. They're doing everything gender neutral. And remember how they just canceled the cartoon with Looney Tunes with the skunk on Space Jam? He got canceled because they said that he basically chased after the women is inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? So he would not be featuring any more cartoons. Pepe Le Pew. Come on, man. And then when you understand that too, that's why transgenderism, they're saying they're giving them free surgeries so that they can now be in the military. But when you understand that this whole aspect is going towards becoming gender neutral, do you get what I'm saying? And I'm going to play some more clips, because when you understand this, it's so deep, man. Because when you understand the whole aspect of the chip and everything with the radiation, I want you to hear this, and I'm going to chime on in. This is from 2010 with 2 or 3G, if I'm not mistaken.
Questioning how safe cell phones are when it comes to your health. This one links pregnancy with the radio frequency radiation emitted.
Our study is the first one to show that the cell phone can actually cause behavioral problems.
Listen to that. Like, come on, man. The rate, and this was 2G. Imagine 5 and 6G. Listen to this.
I'm starting to
Pay attention to this.
Hope enough of these freaks have our SIM cards.
Mind control. You know what I'm saying? Notice how he was able to control them through the signals. Even people who didn't have a cell phone, as long as you was near them, you was under mind control. You know what I'm saying? And I'm actually gonna play another clip, and I'm gonna chime on in as well.
Anyone else did either. Because really, since women stopped being able to have babies, what's left to hope for?
Pay attention to that. This is based in the 2030s. This is called Children of Men. You know what I mean? And when you understand that too, the women's suffrage movement back in the 1918 took place during a whole, remember the big disease that was going on at the time? Remember that, the big disease that was going on at the time. And what I noticed too, which is so deep about that, was that it's the same thing happening now, because the president at the time was Woodrow Wilson. And remember, what did he do? He sold America to the Jewish bankers. So when you look at that and you compare to everything going on right now with Biden and everything, the whole gender neutral, the huge push of the feminism, the big situation going on with sick being sick and everything. Come on, man. It's literally a big repeat for a new world. Hence why Woodrow Wilson sold America to the Jewish bankers. And notice how everything is going on now, what America is literally about to undergo, becoming new world order. And every nation will be joined therein, man. You know what I'm saying? It's literally all in our face. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I really want to touch onto this, because when you understand that whole aspect, remember I said about why they sent the man to jail, because they sent him through the pineal to literally destroy the masculinity through the pineal system. You know what I'm saying? That was like a subconscious rape, practically sodomized. You know what I'm saying? Like punishment. You know, reach the level of masculinity where it punish you and strip you of manhood. That's why when you get out of jail, you can't get a job. You can't vote. You know, they take away all human rights, man. You feel what I'm saying? Hint the whole Royal Ark rainbow. Why do you think they used the rainbow, man? Come on, man. Why do you think they use the LGBTQ uses the rainbow? Come on, man. The whole Royal Ark of the Freemasonry. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes that deep, man. It's that deep. But I'm actually going to end that right here. I just want to touch on this topic. Stay tuned. Much more is coming to Hide and Seek TV. Peace.